Ground zero is me and my partner, so some.
Before we get to talk too much, let's do a highlight on some of the things that our up next guest has been working on before the current thing that we're about to talk about on today's edition right here on Prime TV on Yanta Vibes.
Rats.
Load the house.
Rats. Rats. They got to understand the anointing. Yeah. Everybody got a giant.
Yeah. Cleo Ice Queen alongside legendary JK. Yo. Now you know how I come through. I'ma bury them. They ain't never seen a lady killer so.
Lips, thighs, and eyes, and sexy motion. Scenario, we walking at the mark. I see a.
That is our today's guest. Like I always say, put some respect on the name, man. Respect the fact that, man, those are some of the few works that you have done.
A long time ago.
A long time. We're talking about 11, 12 years?
Yes. And that's because Ground Zero is me and my partner. So some of those are actually done by my partner. So we work together.
Amazing.
Yes.
Welcome to the show called Yatu Vibes. We appreciate that you came through.
Thank you.
Ken Roc, we want to have a conversation regarding where you've been.
Okay.
Some of the things that we just want to get find out. There are so many questions that I want us to get find out. But let's start from where have you been?
So I am based here, which is home, Zambia. But I've been across Africa working. So I work with different brands. I create content for brands like Coca-Cola, DSTV, Netflix, just as many brands as you can think of. So I've been traveling Africa to create content. So right now I'm just from Cameroon. I came yesterday. I was working with a brand called Orange that side.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a telecom.
Now, these are questions that most of us who are in media get to ask ourselves.
Yeah.
The change of starting to work with brands,
Yes.
away from the music.
Yes.
What happened?
I think maybe a lot of people didn't know. In the background, like Ground Zero's initial background was actually we created content for brands. So music videos were something that we did just because we loved music as a passion. Yeah.
So it was nothing like something that you were regarding as a business, something that you felt like it was worth to keep on doing, because you know why I'm finding out this question? There's been an outcry. So many people out there saying we need more people like you in the music industry, people that understand the work. Okay,
Yeah.
like if we have such people like you, stop doing the work. Who should we maybe rely on saying, okay, what Zambia Kuchalo? It's something that we'll be talking about. But what happens if you people like you stop doing the work?
Okay, so when we started creating music videos, because now it's digital, we started shooting them on tapes. You know what I mean? And I remember as far as shooting Mampi's videos from way back with Kambela. But now where things stand is the industry at the time wasn't lucrative. We were just doing it as a passion. We're not making any financial gain from shooting music videos in the past. So because the market wasn't ready in terms of investing in music videos and us making a living off it. So what we decided to do, and our main core business, was actually to work with brands in terms of creating strategies for brands and content for brands and being able to sell products. So after some time, so I've been shooting music videos once in a while, but I think it's also the market. I think we tried opening the door. I think now there's a lot of new people on the market that actually are shooting music videos.
From the thing that you're seeing now, from the current guys that are working on putting in the work, the videographers, what do you think about the work that they are putting in?
I think it's really improved. Yeah, the times have changed, technology has changed, so that's really helping. I think artists have more innovative music videos. Yeah.
Okay. So we want to find out more regarding what made you to start doing other things, like you mentioned about the brands and other things there as well. Yes. But the other thing I'd like to find out is the big thing that Zambia, as the country, we're super proud of. The movie, that is one of the movies that we're super proud of. I remember I had Marie, one of the movie actresses, came through on the show. We're talking about the conversation regarding her experience with her being in the movie as well. But before we get to find out that, let's go straight to the trailer. On the other side, we'll continue having a conversation right here on Yard Vibes.
Say this: I am powerful.
I am powerful.
Breathe.
I don't care where you go. I am strong.
I am strong.
I am worthy.
I am worthy.
I belong.
I belong.
Didn't I tell you that we don't play with people like you?
They could never understand you. And what they don't understand, they fear. And what they fear, they seek to destroy.
So that is what is keeping Mr. Ken Roc busy. Can I say that? Am I allowed to say that? You left us in the industry for music, but that is an amazing work.
Thank you so much.
I watched it. By the way, I have Netflix on my phone.
Yes.
So I had to watch the movie so that when I criticize, it's coming from the facts right there. But let's talk about that. Okay. The story and how everything started, the idea.
Yes. So the idea was developed by Lawrence Thompson. He's the writer for the story. So it's a life that is inspired by John Chitty's life, actually. So there's inspiration gotten from that, and then hence the story. So I was approached, and then when I was approached, I wasn't sure yet if this is a project I'd like to work on. But my wife is a producer, Yasmin Dodia. So she convinced me that this is a story that we need to tell, and it's an important story. And that's when I got time to actually read it and found that it's a compelling story. So yeah, that's how it came about. And then we started prepping and trying to create something that hasn't been done before, and creating, just in terms of how the story was told, in terms of how the music is laid out. If you actually, when you watch the film, you see that it's actually heavy driven by music. Actually worked with Magnus in working with Radio Cafe to create the music. So all the music is original, and at the end you even hear Esther Chungu's voice as the credits roll. Yeah.
Amazing. These are stories that you feel like as African we need to tell the world out there.
I think for me, when I read the story, I felt that it needed to be told in a very honest way. Like even the style of how the film is actually portrayed. From our locations, if you look at locations, those are locations that you see every day. We shot some of those locations in Chilenje, in different places around Lusaka that are very relatable. And shockingly enough, it wasn't just a story that was relatable to us Zambians. It became a story that became relatable to a global community. Because once it started streaming on Netflix the first week. it became the top 10. It was on the top 10 films on Netflix in 13 countries. In the US, in Canada, in Australia, in New Zealand, in the UK as well, in South Africa, in Kenya, and in Nigeria. And in Nigeria, it has been number one for a long time. So getting Nigerians sending you messages and telling you how the story has inspired them, and not just inspired them, that it's a story that they can relate to in their communities. So I think what was important was making the story as honest as possible, as authentic as possible, but also making the story a human story, something that you and I can relate to. When you look at those moments, even like the stepmother kind of approach, those are things that a lot of people have grown up with. And these are things that we even experience today. And the stepmother situation is not just a Zambian story, it's an African story, but also a global story. So if even when you go on TikTok and type in the film, you see there's reviews, there's people's feedback in terms of how the movie made them feel. So yeah, it's interesting.
How long did it take you to maybe finish shooting the movie, everything done?
So it took us 38 days to actually shoot. That's 38 days, of course. There's breaks in the middle because shooting is hectic. So it took us about 38 days, and we're done shooting, but the post-production took a long time because funding films is expensive. So our post-production was probably over a year, and then the other year is when we started to try to look for markets, to try and knock on doors, and eventually Netflix said that they would love to stream it.
So before this movie was on Netflix, it was first premiered in Zambia. Some time back.
Yes.
The sad part about it is that I felt sad after watching it on Netflix that I didn't attend the actual premiere of the movie when everybody was advertising about it. I regret the fact that I didn't take interest, which I know that I'm not just the only one, but we're a lot of Zambians that will just wait for the time that maybe it's on a streaming platform that we're more maybe familiar with. Which is Netflix. We're more familiar with it, but when it's premiered right there. From a creator's point of view, what would be your word to other Zambians who are creatives, people that are working on movies, maybe also the Zambians who are also watching this conversation that we're having? Why do you feel like we need to pay too much attention to such things sometimes?
What we have to look at, filmmaking is part of the economy. Is our movie employed about 200 people. So that's 200 people whose families are fed. So that being the case, is the more we support the film industry, is we start to create employment. You are here across this table because there's a media industry that's able to have you here. So it's similar to the filmmaking aspect. So the more filmmakers we have, is we also become part of the global conversation. They start to realize that Zambia has an industry, where Nollywood has an industry, Bollywood has an industry, South Africa, Kenya have industries. So I think this is a step towards the right direction to be able to create an industry that people want to support, and our own stories in our own language, in our own tone, in our own style.
This is the biggest achievement, one of the biggest achievements. We are happy as Zambians once again. The other thing I'd like to find out, what next? The movie is still showing. Any other things that we should expect from your side?
Of course, a lot more. We are working in the background to try and create the next project. So it takes time, but we're working to try and create the next project. I just hope that having this film on Netflix and being shown globally opens more doors, not just for me, but for the next filmmaker who wants to make a film.
But is there any word of encouragement, maybe challenges that you feel like another film creative or someone who makes movies out there who's watching, they should be on the lookout when they're getting into this business?
I think when you're getting into this business, or I'll speak from the business aspect and the audience aspect, with the audience is the more you stream this film, is you get to show the world that you're an industry that exists, and the world starts to pay attention. And when they pay attention, resources are created. and then it empowers the next filmmaker. So supporting your local content, whether it's music, whether it's actors, whether it's the film itself, it empowers the next person, but also empowers you as an audience, because now you can proudly say that you have an industry as a Zambian. And even when you see on TikTok, when there's different people from different countries posting about the film, and you see at the bottom people putting their Zambian flag there, just saying this is a proudly Zambian production, which is amazing. So for a filmmaker who wants to create content, I think I'm speaking from where I come from as a filmmaker who had no resources, is that your biggest resource is the fact that you have a story, or you want to tell a story, or you're passionate. I don't think, if you look at the new iPhone right now out, is you can shoot a movie with it.
Yeah.
So I think don't limit yourself to what you have and don't have. Use what, no matter how small the resource is, to create something and to tell a story, and make sure that the story is as compelling as possible, because past the beautiful camera angles, people follow a story, and if the story is powerful, you have the audience. And I think let's not spend a lot of time talking about it, but let's do it. Let's create the next project. So for any filmmaker, a writer, actor, practice. Because if you look at where the world is now, I think the attention is on Africa, and Africa is the next gold mine, because all the stories, if you look at the Western world, don't you feel that the stories feel repetitive?
Yeah.
Yes. Like it's just a different form. It's an action film. You took something from me, I'm coming after you. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, or if it's a love story, the girl you shouldn't end up with is the girl ends up with, things like that. So, but as Africans, we have stories that haven't been told. We have stories we grew up around the campfire that our grandmothers told us that haven't been told. So your Harry Potters, your Game of Thrones, we have our own versions. I think it's time to tell those stories and tell them with our own language, with our own tone, but also know that there's a global community out there, so we can push. Yeah.
Amazing. All right. So in case someone wants to get more information, are we in future maybe having any workshops, anything, just to help out people out there?
Yes. So we're planning to do some workshops, possibly next year, where we can interact with other filmmakers, where we can be able to have this conversation like this, where they can ask questions, what their challenges are, and we can advise. We can look at some of the work and say, why don't you do this? And they can advise us as well, because that's the thing, it's collaboration. It's trying to figure out how we can all work together to create something that's powerful.
The Art Fest, the title was Mwabi.
Yes.
Then later changed to Can You See Us? What happened?
So the albino community, because when we showed the film to them, they had feedback, because you can't tell a story of someone who's not involved.
Yeah.
Even John Chitty was involved in the process, and their advice was that they felt that the name Mwabi wasn't a name that they were ready to embrace, because of all the negative kind of what surrounds the name. So hence, Can You See Us was more of a powerful name, because it's a question that is asked, is because I'm different from you, can you see me in the same light as you see yourself? Yeah.
So there was something that you sat down and also had the conversation?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. It was great having a conversation with you. Thank you very much for coming through. I know you are too busy. But it means a lot, right? You're just sharing some few information regarding the Can You See Us movie.